can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a good book. Dr. Seuss. Hey guys, it's Isabel. So I'm here in my desk area because we're going to be talking books, and not just any kind of books. These are going to be my favorite books from last year, just my favorite books overall, to compile a 2019 reading list for you guys. Some of these are newer, some of these are just old favorites that I feel like anyone can benefit from, and they're just my tried and true favorites that will never disappoint me and are always there for me when I need these books. And I think from all these wonderful authors I'm going to show you books of, we can all learn a ton, because these are incredible books, incredible authors, inspiring people, and a lot of literature that has inspired me on my own personal journey of self-development and spirituality. I just want to give a little disclaimer. Some of these books are the same repeats from my last book video that I did, which was about a year and a half ago, I believe now. So it's long overdue that I update, but of course a lot of these are, like I said, tried and true favorites that I love forever. So let's get on to my 2019 inspirational book reading list. So let's drag these babies over here. I hope I have everything. Ta-da! This is what we're working with. I'm gonna start off with the books that I just got or haven't read or am in the process of reading. This book came in yesterday. If you guys were watching me on Instagram Live, I literally got it when I was online with you guys. So this is Gabrielle Bernstein, The Universe Has Your Back. I got this on Amazon Prime member. You get 1-day shipping. And I haven't read this book, but a lot of you guys recommended it to me, and Gabrielle Bernstein has been someone that has actually inspired me. When I first got into Law of Attraction, I saw a few of her videos, and I've always meant to get her book, but I never did. I read through the chapters just to kind of get a quick glance, a quick overview of these things. And chapter 1 is You Have a Hidden Power. Chapter 2, You Are the Dreamer of Your Dream. Chapter 3, You're Always Being Guided even when it doesn't feel like it. Kind of like the video I made yesterday. Your vibes speak louder than your words. The universe works fast when you're having fun. That is so true. So all these chapters really resonate with me. When I'm finished reading the book that I'm reading right now, I'm going to hop onto this one, and then I'll give a good book review. If you guys want any full-on book reviews from any of these books I talk of here, then please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to. This is the book I am currently reading. It is Girl Wash Your Face. I got this a couple months ago. So far, I'm loving it. I love how relatable this is. First, I'm like, what do I have in common with a 30-something mother of 2? It says, stop believing the lies about who you are so you can become who you're meant to be. And that really resonated with me, because I believe we all tell lies about ourselves. We all believe lies about ourselves, either from ourselves, from our low self-esteem, from other people. It resonates with me in that aspect. Even though I really can't relate so much to her, I can relate a lot to her just in her own spiritual journey. And she is pretty open about how she's Christian, and she does follow Christian faith. So that's really nice to hear too. If you're not Christian too, it works great too. I mean, it's not like overly on the Jesus talk, you know, if that's not your thing. The only thing is I feel like she can go more in depth into some of the topics she talks about. There's a chapter here, I'm Not Good Enough. I felt like it was one of the first chapters. I felt like it could have gone in more into just self-worth instead of just, I mean, a lot of this book is her personal experiences. A lot of this book is just stories, which makes it relatable. If she were to make another book like this, which I'm not sure she has, I would definitely go more in depth on just the how, not the what necessarily, but the how. But since I haven't finished reading the book, then I can't really give my whole judgment on it yet. So let me finish it, and then I'll get back to you guys and let you know if I really loved it. This is Lessons by Gisele, the supermodel, turned businesswoman, turned entrepreneur, turned environmental activist. She wears many hats now, which is really inspiring, that a woman who started her career basically off her looks has been able to branch off into more than just modeling and fashion and things like that. And she's actually involved in a lot of causes, which is why Gisele has always been kind of a personal hero of mine. Not like a huge hero, but I've always followed her journey, and she's always inspired me just with her work ethic. Like I said, she's involved in many projects. I'm not a Pats fan, so I can't say I like her husband very much. Her husband's Tom Brady. He's cool, but she's really, really inspiring. So when I heard she came out with a book, I knew I had to get my hands on it. And guys, I loved this book. A lot of it is based off her life, but she gives a lot of knowledge. She gives a lot of tips, and that's how it resonated with me a lot. This book, it's kind of like when you pick it up and you read, stop believing the lies about who you are so you can become who you were meant to be. And it's called Girl Wash Your Face. You feel like it's going to be a bit more instructional, not so personal, if that makes sense. I'm not bashing Rachel Hollis at all, because I think she's wonderful, but Gisele actually did a really good job. This book is called Lessons and My Path to a Meaningful Life. So you know it is going to be a bit autobiographical. Even though you do go into the book thinking it is going to be a bit more of a biography, she explained a lot of the lessons well. And she explained a lot of the way she thinks and her philosophies and just the way she lives her day to day. She crushes a lot of the preconceived notions about her and her life, and that her life is seemingly perfect. And she does kind of put off that facade, really, that her life is perfect. I mean, she has 3 beautiful kids, and she has a nice looking NFL quarterback husband, and she's a beautiful supermodel and with the world at her feet. And you do kind of have that image of her that she has everything, but to know how she struggled throughout her modeling career and the things that she put up with, and just her internal battles and her struggles with anxiety, and she was suicidal at one point because of her anxiety. She felt like a detachment between who she was as a supermodel and who the real Gisele was. Gisele, the girl from Brazil, was much different than the world-renowned supermodel. So I absolutely love this book. I read it so quick. I read it faster than any of these other books. I was sucked into this book. Even if you're not necessarily a Gisele fan, highly recommend it. And on the back it says, in this book I've laid out the lessons that have helped me live a more conscious and joyful life, inspired me to overcome challenges I've faced over the years, and given me a deeper understanding of myself and the world. I hope they will help you too. And honestly, she hit it out of the park with that. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I talk about this book all the time. I feel like every single word that he types out is very intentional. He writes with a lot of clarity. So I really do enjoy him as a writer. This book is about living in the moment and stopping your thoughts and literally having no thoughts. When I recommended this book over the summer when I first got it, I recommended it, I think, over social media or in a video or something. I know a lot of you guys went to read it, and a lot of you guys didn't understand certain points of it, certain aspects. And I love how he starts the book off saying that it doesn't matter what you were raised as, doesn't matter if you are religious or non-religious, or if you're Christian or whatever, Buddhist, these are all things that anyone can practice, and they are practiced throughout different religions. Even your religion can practice a lot of the lessons and the philosophies in this book, which makes it very relatable to a lot of people. But even then, I feel like there is a lot of esoteric knowledge in here, which can be hard for some people to grasp. A lot of deeper spiritual stuff in this book. But definitely, if you are in a spiritual journey, you are open to self-development, to living in the present moment, which is something I always tell you guys to do, live in the present moment. This is a great book for those of you who are looking for a way to stop negative thinking. Great for people with anxiety. It really changed my outlook on many things in my life. The beliefs that I had. Eckhart Tolle started his spiritual journey because he had basically a nervous breakdown or a panic attack, something like that. He had a mental breakdown basically, and when he had that breakdown, he felt like he wanted to die, he wanted to leave his body, and then he had like an outer body experience, I guess you could call it, and he basically left his mind and his body, and he was able to stop his thinking, and that's when he realized this power that he had, and he was living in bliss for a little while, I think for a few months, like complete and utter bliss in life, and it kind of stopped. So he talks about how he got into that frame of mind, how you can get into that frame of mind, and it's honestly very transformative. I recommend anyone who's going through a tough time or just feels like life is just being very difficult for them right now to check this book out, read this book. Give it, even if it doesn't necessarily line up with your spiritual beliefs, give it a try. Just try it out and see how you like it. I totally forgot to mention this in the video, but this is Sacred Powers by David G., The 5 Secrets to Awakening Transformation. This book really helped me just guide me into knowing myself more, knowing the powers that I have within me, and just working more with my energy. This is a very spiritual book. It's a bit esoteric, but it's a very enjoyable book. So I highly recommend Sacred Powers. The 4 Agreements. This is a book I've been talking about in a few videos already, but just in case you haven't heard me talk about it, this book transformed a lot, especially in the way that I talk to myself and just the verbiage I use and being very careful and mindful of my words. So this book is about 4 different agreements that you must make for a happy, fulfilling life. And this book is so thin, it's so easy to read, and you get so much wisdom out of it. Being impeccable with your word was definitely the one that stuck with me the most. I realized that my words are a magic spell, so I tend to use more positive verbiage now, not so much not being negative towards myself or anyone else. And I feel like doing that little switch just really helped me in making my life more positive all around. So this is a book that anyone can read. It's very simple. Even if you're just starting your spiritual journey, I feel like this is a good book to start with. Big Magic. I really love this book. As you can see, it's very well loved. I took it on a trip with me, and definitely one of those books that everyone, doesn't matter if you're in a creative field or not, everyone should read Big Magic, because it's just kind of one of those books that really inspires you to go after your creative goals and your endeavors and your dreams and break out of that belief that you have to be a certain kind of person or in a certain place in your life or have a certain kind of talent in order to be creative, in order to express yourself, in order to have permission to go for your dreams and your goals and the things that you've always wanted to work towards. And that's what I really loved about this book. This is by Elizabeth Gilbert, who is the author of Eat, Pray, Love. So you can just imagine how good she is of a writer. And she talks a lot about ideas and how ideas, if you don't work on your ideas, let's say you get an idea to write a book and you don't do anything about it, you don't start writing the book, somebody else, like dreams literally move, ideas move from people to people. The universe sends off ideas to the person best equipped to bring it into fruition. Who the universe, that's why I tell you guys, your dreams and your ideas and your goals are not an accident. They come to you as inspiration from the universe and from God. And she really does a good job in this book of putting that out there, putting out that information. She tells you, you don't need a permission slip to go after your dreams. You have magic. We all have magic. Ideas are magic, and you have to put them out there in order to create more magic in the universe, because the universe is sending people ideas and things like that for people who are talented and who are hardworking. And if that person gets that idea and doesn't do anything off of it, it floats onto someone else, which is why you might be thinking of an invention. I should invent this, and you never do anything about it because we all have these ideas. And then one day you're watching TV and that invention pops up and you're like, why the heck? Somebody else is making money. I had that idea. Why didn't I do anything? So this is one of those books that really kind of wakes you up and is like, hey, you should do something about those ideas and those goals and dreams that you have. I love this book, and it's so pretty. This is one of those books that will always sit on my bookshelf because it's just so pretty and gorgeous. So these books right here are books that I've already talked about in previous videos or in a previous reading list. So I'm going to be very brief on those. I will link below the video that I talked about these books in so you guys get an idea. But this is a very special book. This one is called Enlightenment is Sexy by Valerie Gangas. Valerie is actually a subscriber of mine, a follower of mine on Instagram. We follow each other, and she offered to send me a copy of her book. This is her book, Enlightenment is Sexy, Every Woman's Guide to a Magical Life. And I was so honored. She even wrote me a little note at the beginning of the book. I felt so special when I got this. And honestly, guys, this is such a relatable book. It's such a fun book because even though she went through a lot of difficulty in her life and, you know, losing her mom, and even though she fell into a deep depression, that's what I tell you guys, when you hit rock bottom, that you can only go up from there. And that's how this book is very relatable, is that she was in a really dark place. Through meditation, she was able to break out of that cycle and start living a more spiritual life and create the life of her dreams. And she's awesome. She's a powerhouse. I really get inspired by reading other people's stories. And that's why I tend to go for more autobiographical, spiritual books like Gisele's book, because they do resonate with me. And it's nice to see people, it's not nice to see people struggle, but it's nice to see people struggle and get out of that struggle and to learn how they did it. I think that's very empowering. But spirituality in a very practical sense, in a very fun sense. It's like you're listening to a best friend just talk about life. So I recommend it. Goes without saying, I can't be talking about The Secret and The Power all the time, but The Secret is the book that you should go to if you are new to the law of attraction, or you don't know what the heck the law of attraction is, you don't know what manifesting is, you don't know what vibration or any of these things are, all the things that I talk about in my videos. This is a great book to start off with. with. And it's also good to read the book and then watch the movie, because the movie puts it in more fun, relatable terms. But this is a very easy book to read. You can literally read it by the pool in an hour. I mean, it looks very thick, but the pages are small, and it's like a lot of quotes and things like that. So it's a very fun book to read if you want to start the law of attraction. It's by Rhonda Byrne. She's the one that basically brought all this to the mainstream. I'm always grateful that I came across this book. I came across the movie first in my spiritual journey, and it put a name on all of the things that I was feeling and the things that I was experiencing. And I had no idea that there was such a thing as the law of attraction, but I had been practicing it for years, basically. And so Rhonda Byrne and The Secret, all this brought it to the forefront. So it puts it in really easy terms. It ties all these different spiritualities together. It ties all these different ideas together, all these different religions together. And it shows you that the law of attraction can be practiced by anyone. Doesn't matter what your spirituality is, no matter what your religion is. It's something universal, and it is a universal law. So great book to start getting into metaphysics. Beginner 101 of the law of attraction is this book, and the movie. Also by Rhonda Byrne, we have here The Power, which is a book that inspired me. I'm going to tell you guys, I started to read this book, and when I started to read it like 3-4 years ago, and when I had first started to read it, I was having trouble reading it because I didn't know, unbeknownst to me, I did not know this book was about love. And about 4 years now, I don't know how long, but a few years back, I was just very closed off from love. My heart, I had closed it off from people, and I just felt like I wasn't going to be loving towards anyone. I was just going to be very savage and very cool, whatever. But when I read this book, it was hard because I love The Secret so much, but I couldn't get into this because it was all about love. I wasn't ready for it at that time, but I went back to read it about a year later. It resonated with me so much because I was like, this is what I needed to hear. I needed to hear that I needed to open my heart, that I needed to be more receptive to love, and realize that love is the ultimate power. Love powers up everything. It inspires people to do so many amazing things on earth. It's not so much about the law of attraction, but this book goes into love and gratitude a lot. So love is one of those powers that, like I said, if you're loving, if you're grateful, a lot of beautiful things come into your life. So if you feel like you've kind of been closed off from love, and you've kind of been afraid to open your heart, you've been heartbroken, or you're just kind of on this weird savage kick like I was, read this book. It'll really open your eyes. And it's so simple to read. It's literally a one-day read. I would read this like in an hour, 2 hours or so. Rhonda Byrne, I think, also has one called The Magic, which my sister has. I'm going to steal it from her. Haven't read that one, but these are really great books, just very simple spirituality that anyone can basically grasp. And The Alchemist. This is a book that I started reading at the beginning of my spiritual journey, and I loved it so much. I read it all in one night. And it's a very short book, you know, and it's a story. It's a fictional story by Paulo Coelho. I know his books aren't for everyone, and the topics that he covers are, you know, a little bit out there, but this is one of those really great feel-good adventure books. Really shows you how the law of attraction works, and how your thoughts, and how we are really magical and infinite, and we're connected to a higher power, whatever you wish to call it. And it's a really wonderful book. I highly recommend it, especially if you're more into fiction, not so much nonfiction self-help, but just more spiritual fictional books that help you really grasp certain themes and certain lessons and philosophies in spirituality. So I highly recommend this. I highly recommend all of these, obviously, but I can't talk enough of how much I love this book. Last but not least, You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero, and You Are a Badass at Making Money, Master the Mindset of Wealth, also by Jen Sincero, author of You Are a Badass. And she also came out with a book late 2018 called You Are a Badass Every Day, which I need to finally get my hands on and read that one too, because she's an awesome author. She really gives you kind of like tough love. It's like you're talking to a best friend or like a sister, and she's just telling you like, hey, this is how it is. Like, I used to be broke and I used to be a loser, and you know, I can't imagine Jen Sincero was ever a loser, but you know, it's kind of like she's very relatable in that aspect, that she didn't have her life together, and she was like pushing 40, and she finally decided, she started to invest in herself and her life. And this book, a lot of people ask me, what is my favorite self-help book? And I always say, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, because this book it really opened my eyes to subconscious limiting beliefs. It opened my eyes to creating new beliefs around myself, around my life, going for my goals, not thinking that I wasn't good enough or that I wasn't worthy of certain things or that I was an imposter, you know, dealing with imposter syndrome. I don't know if it directly talks about that, but this book really did help me, just guide me through my imposter syndrome that I did deal with. This book just really made me go for my goals and my dreams, and it really inspired me in so many ways. So I can't stop talking about this book. I talk about it in almost every video. Every time you ask me what my favorite book is, it's definitely this one. It's my dream to meet Jen Sincero, which I saw that one of my Twitter followers told me that they met Jen Sincero and she signed their book, and I was like fangirling. I was like, you are so blessed to have met her, because that's one of my dreams. And then You Are Badass at Making Money changed my life, changed my whole money mindset, puts money and making money and thinking you are worthy of making money and subconscious limiting beliefs around money. So she really changed my money mindset. So both of these books are life-changing to me. Anybody of any age can read these books. Anybody, doesn't matter what you do for a living, doesn't matter who you are. These books are incredible for anyone at all stages of life. I read these books a lot. I go back to these books, especially to certain chapters. I brush up on certain things. Always gets me back into that mindset of go, 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 work towards your dreams, work hard. Shout out to Jen Sincero. So, I will link them all down below so you guys can check them out for yourself. Let me know how you like them, or if you read any of these books, if they resonated with you too. Or please, please, please let me know of any books that you recommend to me. Comment them down below. I get a lot of great recommendations from you guys for books. A lot of these were recommended by you guys. So please comment them down below. You guys inspire me to no end. I hope this helped you guys. I hope these books will help you have a wonderful 2019. I know they will, especially if you have been really focused on working on yourself. Books are never a bad investment. You can still learn something from a bad book. So even if I spend my last $10, they will probably be on a book, because books have honestly changed my life. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to hit thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos from me, more self-development and spirituality videos, if that is your goal for 2019. And welcome to all my new subscribers. I've noticed I've gotten a lot of subscribers lately, so thank you so much. We recently hit 150,000 subscribers, so I thank you guys so very much for all that love, and I hope that we can continue a passionate and prosperous and positive journey through 2019. This is our year. I feel it has great energy. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. All my links are always down below in the description. And if you guys like podcasts, I have a podcast episode up every Monday. It's called Taking Back Your Power, and it's available on about 11 to 13 different platforms. The link is always in the description as well, so you guys can go check that out too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember, no matter who you may be in this life, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you may be going through or what you may look like, your true beauty, your true worth, and your true power always come from within. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.